Today, the U.S. market is opening up mixed, but you know what's not mixed is Microstrategy, who is now, they are $100 billion market cap company. You know what's funny? Carl's here. Yesterday, I shared a story about one of my best friends who I've tried to convince to buy Microstrategy since the beginning of time, and he still hasn't. And I've been telling him, and I'm in this group chat, I was telling him, and yesterday MicroStrategy was still at like 85 billion. And I just blurted this out, and it's going to be true now. I said next year, MicroStrategy will be a $1 trillion market cap company. And yesterday, it sounded a little ridiculous because it was at 80 billion. But then I thought about it. I'm like, by the end of this year, it's going to be above 100 billion. And the way Bitcoin is moving, the way MicroStrategy is going, a 10x is not that far-fetched, right? Especially it's above 100 billion now. Where is it going to end by the end of this year? It could end at 150 billion by the end of this year. The way it's going, it's adding more than 10 billion a day. So if MicroStrategy ends at 150 billion by the end of this year, can it be a $1 trillion company by the end of next year? I mean, it has to retrace sometime, but even with the retracements and consolidations, it still can be with the help of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin continues to go up, it's kind of mind-boggling. Think about it. A company that was only worth like $10-15 billion earlier this year now is above 100 billion and could be worth $1 trillion by the end of next year. That's how crazy it is. And that's all thanks to Bitcoin. But I've been telling you guys about MicroStrategy. I've been showing you guys how tremendous their growth has been so far. And they have broken into the top 100 U.S. public companies by market cap. Top 100. That's insane. 500% year-to-date growth. What does MicroStrategy even do outside of just acquiring Bitcoin? Does anyone know what they do? Big Daddy Saylor, all he does is raise money and buy Bitcoin. That's all you need to know. Okay? That's all Wall Street cares about. That's why their stock keeps going up 10% every single day. That's all that matters. Just buy Bitcoin. Keep buying Bitcoin. Keep buying sats. That's all you need to do. As a company, as a retail investor, as a whale, as a country, as a whatever. Everyone in between, just buy sats. It's the easiest way to build life-changing wealth or build market cap, right? They're going to sell another $2.6 billion worth of notes, again, to buy more Bitcoin, which thus is going to get more investors to buy their shares, which thus will pump up their price even higher and market cap even higher. But here's the thing, Saylor, he's not just doing it for himself. He has caused a name for himself and his company. And that is why next month, this big vote that Microsoft is going to have next month, it's going to be a big one, okay? It's a big one. So Microsoft themselves and the board does not want to buy Bitcoin. But because there's some activists with a big chunk of shares, they want Microsoft to buy Bitcoin. So Microsoft board has no choice but to put this up for a vote. Now, it seems like that activist has contacted Saylor and wants him to do a 3-minute presentation for the board, and Saylor has agreed. Now, Saylor has made such a name for himself, and MicroStrategy has made such a name for himself. Microsoft cannot ignore it anymore. I mean, just think about it. If Saylor can convince Centea, the CEO of Microsoft, and everyone else to just go all in on Bitcoin now. I mean, Microsoft is sitting on like $100 billion worth of cash. 100 billion, probably more. At one point in time, they were holding like $300 billion worth of cash, right? As much as Saylor holds and MicroStrategy holds, Microsoft could come in with $300 billion and make Saylor and BlackRock's holdings look like chump change. They could just buy 300 billion or whatever billion, hundreds of billions instantly. That's how rich Microsoft is. And same thing with Apple and Google. They have hundreds of billions of dollars in cash they don't know what to do with. They can't just acquire all these other companies. All they do is do buybacks because they're not allowed to do anything with this money. Because if they do acquisitions, there's like all this antitrust stuff that comes up. So all they do is buybacks, share buybacks. But now, if they have a viable option to say, go buy Bitcoin with all this cash, it's a win-win. It's a win for shareholders. It's a win for Bitcoin. It's a win for everyone. Think about it. If that's the new paradigm where all these big tech companies now start buying Bitcoin rather than buy their shares, and investors love that, oh my God, that's just going to, I mean, these companies make like 20, 25, 30 billion dollars worth of profits per quarter. They make over $100 billion in profits per year. And imagine if they just put 10% of that into Bitcoin a year, each one of them, we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars into Bitcoin every single year. That adds up to a lot. The supply shock that's already happening is going to increase more and more. Here's another one. Hoth Therapeutics board of directors approved Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. I don't know who they are, but they said they're going to approve a purchase of $1 million in Bitcoin, which is a decent amount, right? But look at this. As soon as they reported that, their stock went up 10%. Like, look at that. As soon as it was reported, it shot up 10%. Every company on the planet is going to adopt Bitcoin. And again, this is thanks to Mr. Saylor and his unwillingness to give up even during the bad times during 2022, 2023, when people were making fun of him. Even the crypto people, even the people that were in Bitcoin and crypto were turning on him. He did not waver. He even joined in on the fun. He even threw on the McDonald's cap. He even trolled himself, saying that he was going to work at McDonald's. He never wavered. He continued to DCA, and look at where he is now. He is the darling of Wall Street. He's the new Bitcoin Jesus, and everyone wants to follow in his footsteps now.